Hey, what's going on, Weavers? Tim here again, and it's time to stop the noise. In this video, we're having a look at the Keybar. This is a key organizer that can turn your keys from something like this to this. Now, I've had a problem with my keys for some time now. They're often unorganized, difficult to use, noisy, and just a pain because the keys get caught and tangled up. So trying something like this was a godsend. First off, a huge thank you to Matt over at Keybar for sending this out to me for review. So getting right into it, what we've got here are 2 titanium plates, a couple of screws, rubber O-rings, washers, and some specialized inserts. Everything comes in this little tin here, and the instructions are included too, and there are YouTube videos on their official channel on how to use it. The easiest way to get your keys onto the Keybar is to stack your keys onto one side first. These washers go in between each key to make space and allow them to rotate. In addition to the keys, you can also put in these tool inserts. Now what I've got here is a titanium Phillips screwdriver and their whatchamacallit tool insert, which is a bottle opener, pry bar, scraper, nail file, and ruler. Also, I've got a deep carry pocket clip as well, which I may or may not use as I tend to keep my keys clipped to my belt loop via a carabiner. Getting the Keybar together was quite easy, however the finicky part was figuring out the best order in which to put my keys in. I was also sent these quick key tabs to add to my most used key, which is my house key, and it just makes it a bit easier to get the main key you use out. Now once you get your keys in the right order, you simply get the keys onto the screws with the titanium plates on each side, sandwiching everything together. You can adjust the tightness of the screws to determine how stiff you want the keys to be. So now with all my keys together, I'm going to give this initial setup a try. To access and use the keys, you simply push them out and find the key you need. And now I have my main key close to the side here with the quick key tab, and the screwdriver is also on the other side so that the thumb stud is accessible like so. And to attach my Keybar to my carabiner, I've also got the aluminum magnet, which is just these magnets that have been set into these machined aluminum pieces with split rings on them. Now, right off the bat, I can feel for sure that the weight has increased, which is expected with the 2 added TI slabs, pocket clip, and tool inserts, but I do for sure have better access to my keys. Now, getting to some of the initial pros and cons, as I mentioned, weight is a factor because I chose titanium. My keys do feel heavier, and because I clip my keys to my belt loop, I will probably feel some of that added weight. However, that being said, there are lighter weight options like aluminum or micarta if weight is a concern. Accessing the keys works really well, even better than I expected actually. And what I like about using the Keybar is that it's actually easier to hold and turn your keys because you have the Keybar as an extension grip. Now getting to specific keys with one-hand manipulation might take a bit more practice, which can sometimes happen if you're carrying a lot of stuff, but I mainly use one house key anyhow, so it's not that big of an issue for me. Now I also did have one mailbox key that I wasn't able to fit onto the screws of the Keybar, and this key has a narrow hole on it, so it wasn't able to fit in. So I may have to take a Dremel to it or something to make it a bit wider. Finally, I like the magnet quick release as it does work well, but it makes my Keybar hang a bit too low on my hip, especially with the added weight.
2 days later.
So after a bit more experimenting and using it for a couple days, here is the final form of my Keybar. Now I kept everything except the pocket clip and whatchamacallit tool, and this will now live on my carabiner. Now final thoughts on the Keybar are extremely positive. I love how it works, and the hardware itself is really well made and machined, which is done in the US of A by the way. They also have a lot of options for you to choose from. If you want something on the lower end, you can definitely do that. And I may have to get one of their door handle hooks to replace this clunky thing I have on my carabiner and just sort of further streamline my keys. So I am a fan of titanium, EDC, organization, and now I'm definitely a fan of Keybar. So if you guys want to get one for yourself, please check out keybar.us. And also use coupon code KBARMY to get 10% off your order. So I hope you all enjoyed this review and found it informative and entertaining. I want to thank you all for hanging out with me and for your time. If you liked what you saw here, please feel free to check out what I have to offer on the rest of my channel.